Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle. I'm the coach, Shannon Griffith, and now joining us, Don Fischer from the beautiful Bloomington, Indiana. Don, what a ball game. I don't even know how any other way to describe that ball game Saturday in Eugene other than it was just, I mean, at some point you wanted to know if you were dreaming or not because of the way that Indiana was playing from start to finish, and really only had two really trip ups. The one touchdown pass that kind of busted coverage, and then, of course, the pick six that Mendoza threw. But besides that, they played A-plus football in my mind.
Well, they did. There's no question about that, Shannon. This is a football team right now that they're riding high, of course, because they won this ball game. They're now ranked third in the country in both polls. But this is week in and week out what you see from Curt Cignetti. This guy believes that he has the right system, the right philosophy. I don't think anybody can argue with that right now because of what he's done in this past year and a half of football at Indiana University. It is remarkable how he got it to turn so quickly. But when you look at the man and how he goes about his business and you're around him as much as I have been, you know that this guy is special and he knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he wants from his players, and they know exactly what they have to provide because it's a critical thing in regard to coaching. You've got to have your guys believing in you. And I can tell you to a man, there isn't anybody that doubts that Curt Cignetti is the best coach in the country right now, at least from an Indiana University player's standpoint.
Yeah, I guess the one other question too on this win on Saturday, kind of where does this rank in terms of the historic Indiana athletic, programs that are there? I mean, there's been a lot of historic wins, not just in football, basketball. You can go right down the list, but kind of in your tenure as the voice of Indiana Hoosier athletics, kind of where do you see this stacking up?
Well, it's the most remarkable thing I've ever seen. It's pretty easy to distinguish it that way. And I've seen a lot. I mean, when I got here in 1973, this program, from a football standpoint, was really down. And from a basketball standpoint, it was really up because Bob Knight was the coach in his third year, which was my first year at IU. They won tied for the Big Ten championship that year, and got beat in a playoff against Michigan over in Champaign, Illinois. People don't remember all that, but they had to play it off. And when they did, Indiana got beat. And the next thing you knew, Indiana was in the CCA tournament.
Yeah.
Which Bob Knight did not want to play in because he thought it was going to ruin the NIT. And he verbalized that pretty remarkably. And but then what he had to, because he had to represent the conference in the CCA tournament. And then they went and won it. And they had a 3-game situation there in which he won that tournament. But he was not pleased about it and got kicked out of the championship game in the first half. People don't remember those kinds of things, but I do. I was a part of it. I got a chance to see it. It was my first opportunity to work with Coach Knight. So at any rate, so I've seen a lot of really incredible things at Indiana while I've been here. But this thing that we've seen with Indiana football is the most remarkable simply because it was so unexpected. When Curt Cignetti was hired, nobody knew who this guy was. I mean, people did know who he was, but we didn't know anything about him. And all I can say, kudos to Scott Dolson, Pam Whitten. They saw what they saw in this man when they hired him, and we've all got a chance to enjoy the opportunity to be a part of it. And it's just something special that we've never anticipated was going to happen at Indiana because of the negatives of Indiana's losing record throughout the years.
No question. And I can, I have said all along that Scott Dolson did a phenomenal job by looking past, the big hire and the splash hire by going out and find somebody that he felt fit Indiana for this particular time period and evaluated it from A to Z with Coach Signetti. That's a pretty good start right there when the AD is fully participating in that process. So that's a big congrats to Scott Dolson. Saturday, outside of some other things that we just talked about, where do you think that game turned in Indiana's favor? Did you feel like it was a game that they fully had under control? And even though the big pick six that tied the ball game back up, that brought the crowd into it, was silenced pretty quickly, and pretty much all day long when Indiana needed that drive, they got it.
And that's the thing that I think, the confidence that Signetti instills in his players. Never too high, never too low, one play at a time. His statements are all ingrained now in our brains because we've heard them so many times now, and they're pretty simple, and yet they're so effective in how the thinking process is instilled in these players. And so I don't know that the game turned at any particular point. I think a lot of people thought it turned when Fernando threw the interception and Vinny took it in the end zone so quickly. But this team doesn't affect them. They don't sit there and lament all of a sudden we've lost momentum or something like those kinds of. That's not the way they think. Yeah. It's basically what Coach Signetti says: one play at a time, never too high, never too low. You just go on to the next play, and they buy into it. And it's a part of the philosophy, I think, that is such a critical thing for any football or basketball or sports team, period. You can't do anything about what just happened. All you can do is go on to the next play. And so I'm not sure I don't know that this game really turned at any particular point, because I watched the same thing when Indiana beat Iowa. This team never gave up. They never got down on themselves. They just went out there and played. And it was the next play and execute the next play, and then you go on to the next one. So to be honest with you, I was I concerned going into the game with Oregon? Yeah.
Sure.
We had not beaten a team like that. The team of that ilk in since I've been here in 53 years, because we've seen Indiana go into ball games with a decent record through the years and then get beat by the Ohio States and the Michigans. Now, it did happen in 1987 that Indiana beat Ohio State and Michigan the same year, and so you got to go back to history and look at what Bill Mallory accomplished at IU. He did some remarkable things too. It's just a different era. And at this point, we're seeing something we've never seen before, because to turn it in 1 year's time into something that special, to go to the college football playoff in the first year of a coach's history at Indiana, unheard of at IU. So we're seeing history rewritten here at Indiana University, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Absolutely. And Don, I'm a rookie at this, so you let me know when you need to kick it out and go, okay, partner? Because
I'm about a minute away,
okay.
So we got about 60 seconds.
Okay, all right. Well, I was close. Last question then for you. We talked about this statement win by Indiana, needing to get one, kind of breaking that glass ceiling wide open. Now, all those outside of the Indiana sphere are now looking to take this IU team seriously.
Right.
Is that something that, from your perspective, is kind of like really neat to see, because you've known for the last couple of years that Indy had something special, and all your partners in the vast media that you have connections to or have talked to are now kind of eating a little bit of crow when it comes to Indiana and talking about their schedule and this and that, and they haven't beat A, B, C, D.
Right. Well, I think it's always fun to watch the pundits have to backtrack on things that they've said in the past. It's really fun to be a part of that too, because look, Indiana's been pretty much a punching bag for just about everybody in the country from a college football perspective for many years, especially in the post Bill Mallory era years, Indiana's gotten no respect. And when they've had a chance to pull off a big upset of some kind, it's never happened. So all of a sudden we're seeing something we haven't seen for a long, long time. And it's, like I said before, it's so much fun to be a part of. And every Indiana fan out there can enjoy this because it's never happened before like this.
Yes, that is true. And Don, I appreciate you coming on today here on the Monday edition of Indiana Sports Beat Radio. I appreciate it. And you keep Buck, sir, in line now. Don't let him get too high or too low.
Well, first of all, you got to know about that, Shannon, is there is no keeping Buck Sewer in line. Just so you know. Well, thanks for having me.
All right, sir. I appreciate your time and best of luck the rest of the way. Keep it going down there. And I hope to catch up with you sometime later.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All righty.